All right. Yeah, let's talk about My Octopus Teacher, a 2020 documentary film following Craig Foster, South African documentary filmmaker himself, though he's not the credited director of this thing, as he has a midlife crisis and takes up with a watery floozy, or stalks a poor octopus, develops kind of an obsession over her, um, uh, and we get to see him in various romantic embraces. It's a weird. It's one of these movies that um, I was pointed to because critics were just like, it's my octopus stalker, him being the stalker of the movie. And indeed, we have shots of him coming down and looking, and the camera's right on him, and it's like it's from the octopus point of view, and it's just like it's this it's this middle-aged guy, kind of like, oh, I love you, kind of. And the thing that I'm pretty sure that the filmmakers themselves weren't. I don't think they were trying to get this across, but it comes across as this guy's um, had a weird kind of really projecting a hell of a lot on this admittedly amazing, intelligent animal. Um, but it's sort of like a creepy old Disney documentary where they do these heavy voiceovers where they anthropomorphize uh, cre- creatures in these documentaries and kind of manufacture dramas. Now, I don't know if the dramas in this are manufactured or not. You always have to kind of, I guess, take it on faith that the filmmaker is doing that, but is definitely with his projections of, he's someone who says, like, well, basically he was having a midlife crisis. He wasn't able to do his filmmaking work anymore. He was having trouble with his family, though that's very lightly brushed over, and so he decided to go back to kind of where he was happiest, which was swimming in the waters off of South Africa in this kelp forest, and doing it without tanks, without swim, without a suit or anything like that, just in the cold, exposed, bare skinned, and able to touch nature, and indeed lots of touching with him and the octopus as this movie goes on, and basically kind of going through um, this octopus through its life cycle. And I won't say how the film ends. There was a lot of periods in there. It's like, is this going to be an octopus snuff film as well as everything else? You know, life has its cycles. I'll just put it that way. It's not bad. It's not objectionable that way. Beautifully photographed, just gorgeous scenes, really interesting stuff. When you get to see the octopus while you're not peering around the what I just found kind of off-puttingly creepy um white dude who's just like really into octopus. He's got a crazy wall. It's I'm sure for another documentarian that would be just thing, but for in this context, it's a crazy wall. Jesus. Um and it's like, yeah, and I think I'm just going to try and focus on this film. I'm not going to kind of compare it to what other. I think I watched Crypt Camp, which I talked about. I've talked about, I think, on this channel already. That was one of the other documentaries that was up, which to my mind was a far more interesting, wide-ranging, less egocentric. This is uh, for all the interesting stuff about Octopus. This is a lot about this guy, and it's a lot about this guy it's all filtered through him. It's him he does the narration. it's all he does all the framing. Like if he's not actually the credited filmmaker, he's obviously the person who's kind of been allowed to construct the story. And it's very much not the octopus's story. It's my story. The my octopus teacher. It's about me. This me here, which I just kind of, kind of creepy. Kind of like, were you aware this is what you were putting out? Because you feel sort of a kind of embarrassment for the guy, um, as much as you feel kind of concern for this poor octopus who seems to be getting perved on by this guy. Which, isn't to say he's also sounds like he's somebody who is leading stuff to actually try and preserve this environment, to preserve these kelp forests, which I'm sure are like, they look they look like they're, just a complete ecosystem, beautiful, fascinating ecosystem. So he gets that across, but there's a lot of this guy in this movie, and it really, it's one of those things where, um, it's not, you're stepping in front of the subject, and the subject can't be seen. Ostensible subject. I don't know. I don't know. Your mileage may vary. It won the Academy Award for documentary. It's bizarre. It's creepily bizarre. It's like it's not uninteresting. It was interesting, but I think it was interesting in a way that I don't think the filmmakers were going for. I don't think they're trying to make fun of him, but I can totally see Christopher Guest, doing they did Best in Show, which was people who are obsessed about dogs and completely, all their own psychodramas getting played out in dogs. I could totally see them doing a My Octopus story with very few little tweaks. This would be a comedy, or a couple more tweaks, and this would be a stalker movie, with this poor octopus being stalked. It's weird. It is weird. Yeah. So that's My Octopus Teacher, Academy Award winner for Best Documentary in 2021. Wow.